Hello everyone, AnimePlot here again with a new video of One Piece 1080, and damn, Oda has cooked this chapter pretty well. The weekly color spreads features a bunch of our favorite ladies starting from Nico Robin, Nami, Boa Hancock and Sanji's sister, which appears a bit sus. To kick off chapter 1108, we hear a man crying, to which we see Caribou pleading for his life to Van Augur. Katerina wondered who this guy was, to which Van Augur recognized him, but did not trust it as they were on a government island, as many of them are after Blackbeard's head. However, Caribou saved himself by revealing to us that Blackbeard will have both Augur and Karina's head if anything happens to him, considering the fact that he possesses the most sensitive information that he cannot trust anyone other than Teach. We don't really get to see the decision that Augur made, but it's clear that Caribou will escape Egghead Island and join the Blackbeard's pirate, giving him the location of the ancient weapons which bears the name of the god, the Princess Shirahoshi known as the Poseidon, and the sleeping Pluto in Wano. Meanwhile, the Marines are getting flattened by their own pacifistas. They can't even harm them because every single one of their attacks is getting blocked by the bubble shield which this cyborg could create, becoming the biggest issue for the soldiers. It's crazy how Oda connected the Shabondi arc with the current chapter, and the little details are mind-boggling. Getting back to the chapter, we see the Vice Admiral discussing the cons of the pacifistas not on their side. So they formulated a plan to kill Bonnie, because once she is gone, the authority to control them falls back to the government side. So every single Vice Admirals present on the scene is ordered to leave their stations and kill Bonnie. These Vice Admirals are no joke, as they are trained themselves to acquire the strength of both observation as well as armored haki. To show the Marines' power, Vice Admiral Tosa took this responsibility and charges towards Bonnie with his finger coated with haki, which is more deadlier than Rokyogun, bearing the name 10-barrel finger gun. But yeah man, I'm trying my best to hype this Marines up, but man, I feel bad for Kainu and his man force. I would request Oda to give them a dub at least, let them destroy at least one or two pacifistas. Because Broggy came into the rescue and one-shots Vice Admiral Tosa. The Giants are here to escort the Straw Hats and Vegapunk safe back to Alabama. At the meantime, we get the reactions of all the Straw Hat members, including Bonnie, who was crying out loud, whereas Frankie was surprised to see Giants on the island and wondered if they were friends or foes. But he was more cautious, instantly telling them that Luffy is his captain and whether the Giants are their enemies. But everything get cleared up quick as the warriors of the Alabama instead showed their gratitude. Bonnie wasted no time in telling the Giants about Luffy, Sanji and Vegapunk fighting Kizaru and Gorosei alone deep into the island. Just the name Sanji and Luffy put a smile on Luffy's face, but he also name dropped that a scholar had told them about Vegapunk back in Alabama. This scholar is of course none other than Jaguar D Soul, who is the reason for much of the books in Ohara being saved and were brought back to Alabama. Luffy and Braggy makes their way towards Luffy. Now we see the Marines are in full panic mode because they have to deal with the Giants. Among the Vice Admiral Doll, the might of the Giants, as they are an officers under Vice Admiral Soul 20 years ago. Meanwhile, Frankie shared that they are in the lab above the clouds. Meanwhile, Saint Saturn wasn't finished fighting. Sanji wondered how they would be able to save Dr. Vegapunk if he couldn't move. The scientist made it clear that if Sanji tries to move him, he would die from internal hemorrhage. Saturn now reveals himself to be a far more monstrous than he was before, appearing to be more spider-like than ever. Meanwhile, Luffy orders Sanji to get the old man Vegapunk out of here, even if he says that moving him would result in his death. Sanji grabs the scientist and run away. And my guy had one job and he failed, as we get a panel where we see Kizaru successfully piercing the good old doctor with his saber light. This man Sanji is supposed to be one of the most competent members of the Straw Hat, but this is completely opposite. Let's be a little fair to Sanji, as he did tank this light saber kick from Kizaru, which barely did any damage, so I guess that's a dub for him. But we get to see an epic scene where the man himself, Monkey D. Luffy, took in charge of the situation by transforming himself massive with a very serious look on his face. He palms Saturn's face like a basketball and clutches Kizaru tightly like a toddler, holding a new Barbie doll, and says he's not gonna let go of them. And damn, that's a cool scene that we got. Every time he uses Gear 5, Luffy is taken into a whole new level. It might be as well a new transformation every time we see it, but while Luffy played King Kong in the background, Sanji continued to beg Vegapunk not to die, as a beeping sound could be heard in the distance, as he wondered what the doctor could possibly be smiling at. A pre-recorded Denden Mushi broadcast began. Vegapunk started warming up behind the scene. This was a message addressed to the entire world, seeing as a lot of people wouldn't recognize him based on his appearance alone. Dr. Vegapunk properly introduced himself to be the world's greatest scientist, and has it a bit funny because he is about to reveal the darkest secrets of the world government and the Void Sanctuary. With this, guys, we end this chapter. Hope you like, share and subscribe to your family members and your friends. Thank you. Have a great day.